Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 486. Today is Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, and I'm glad you could join me today. The Kathleen Bean, I don't know what. She's looking outside, so it's fine. So I thought she was going to go to sleep, but she's awake. Maybe she'll be a little bit grumpy. It's hard to tell. I'm just fiddling with your hand. But we will try recording with her and see how it goes, because I think she would rather be held right now than anything else. As you do. As you do. So, what would it be? And today counts as one of those days where quite a lot has happened before recording, as opposed to sometimes when it's like literally nothing's happened. I have mystery tea. The tea is not in its original tin. It's delicious. But not too crazy. So, but what it be? So no finished objects this week. No new works in progress. Pretty straightforward time, I think. Would it be? Things will be changing because as of Thursday, I'm back to work full time again. And or would it be? No, I just have to laugh. Or I'll have to like, boss. Not sure I'm gonna do everything you wanted me to do. But whatever, such is life. We'll get it worked out. So, not too crazy there. No new yarn. So, pretty straightforward week. Not too crazy. We'll just get to have a little bit of baby TV. What do you think? You're much more interested in the outside than the video. You do sometimes like to see your face, right? Yeah, I feel like you are pretty tired, but that's okay. We'll get it worked out. So let's see how the projects are doing. Did I finish a row before putting it down? Yes. Yes, we do. So, what I have here is my double brioche peacock shawl. It is getting longer. Or would it be? I recall we ended up weighing it last week, and so we were halfway through the yarn. We are now, I think, to would it be? I guess it depends on what you count as like a pattern repeat, but um this is now a 6 feather shawl instead of a 5 feather shawl, which I think it was last week. So I'm having the feathers branch out from the center, but it may be really hard to tell until this gets blocked. Um, but you can see the feathers going from there, so it's looking pretty nice. And then this is the other side, which would it be? The pattern isn't quite as clear because the yarn is more variegated. So this is the M Colton Polar side, and this is the Vertex and Verruct side here. And what was it? I did get to what is it? I was working on this when I was hanging out with my mentor from Texas. He actually came out with his wife, and we were able to hang out not last Friday, but the Friday before, which was super lovely. And that was the last time that I saw my cable needle and my spare US 1. I do not know where they went, but whatever. So I don't know if it's the case where I want to get this onto my interchangeable because it is getting a little bit crowded on the 12-inch needle. We'll see. But it's like growing at a pretty slow rate. So what would it be? So we should still be able to get some pretty good distance on it. Even though I am using more yarn with every row. So, and I think based on how I ended up going with making the increases, it's not necessarily like evenly distributed. I may have even started early for this one. I'm just not going to be too worried about it at this point. It's going to look pretty cool either way. And effectively speaking, like I end up starting a feather after its neighbor is being decreased away, so should be fine. But it may be a little while before I start yet another feather again to get it up to 7 feathers instead of 6. Maybe that's the only way you can keep track of it. So, would it be? And then it would be like it would be the case where because those needles ended up disappearing, I'm like keeping my, or I have my cable needle in like the zipper pouch in my bag, and so I will only take it out on the rows that I need to rearrange stitches, because there is a decent amount on that 8th row. Or is it 16th? We don't know. What do you think, Kathleen? Is it 8 or 16? No big deal, right? No big deal, right? Yeah. So, however many rows I do before I have an action row. I guess technically speaking, I do go to the count 8, so that would be technically I have 15 rest rows and 1 pattern row. So, or would it be? And that is the case where like you want to make sure the pattern row is being done at a sensible time. Like when you're at home or when you have some dedicated knitting time to get it all done. Yeah, is that true? Yeah. That's what we need. That's what we need, right? So, but I feel like I've made quite a bit more progress on my other project. So after finishing the shawl last time, it was the case where I did cast on a new second project. And I don't even know if I shared the swatch last time. Maybe. I think I thought about it at least. And this may end up being a slightly different presentation, purely because like I might have put it on try it on tubing if I wasn't holding on to a child. But this is my rocket tee, so I am knitting it out of Hillesvåg Solje, which is Norwegian pelt wool in a navy blue color, and then gold number 4 in cochineal walnut, indigo and walnut, indigo and cochineal. So, and what it be basically red, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then I put them together in little rainbow stripes. Even though that results in an obnoxious number of ends, it does make for a beautiful stripe. The gold is, or geold, I don't know, is a light fingering, so it's like 650 yards per 100 grams. And then the Hillesvåg is less, like 350. So this is more sporty, and this one's definitely light fingering. And so you still sort of get the alternation there. But as you guys can see, I very recently separated for the sleeves. So that was exciting. And then we'll document, or would it be? So I cast on for the numbers for the 38-inch size. And then I ended up doing increases on the front until the front was like the 48 size. And then when I pulled, I stopped increasing for the sleeves for the 41 size. And basically there are provisions in the pattern so that you don't overly increase for the sleeves, basically. And then when I pulled the or when I separated for the sleeves, I ended up pulling it for the total stitch count for the 41 size, but I have more stitches. I have 3 inches more ease in the front than the back. So the idea there is basically modified raglan shaping so that there is more room for the boots and not too much room for the back. And I really do want to try it on, but it's hard with a little baby with nowhere to stick her. I didn't bring the bouncer in with me. I was hoping you would take a nap. I was hoping you would take a nap. So that's a whole lot of complication. But or whatever, it seemed like the pattern was definitely set up so that you basically could have like a decent amount of customization sort of in that last bit so that you could get the right depth overall. But I do really want to try it on because I haven't had a chance yet to check the drop because and just make sure that like this is the right length basically. Oh yeah, we don't want your foot caught on that, do we? So that it's not like too far up in the armpits or something. And like it should be the case where the sleeves are fairly loose, I believe. Um, yeah, you're scratching me with your fingernails. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut them again soon, aren't we? So that's like the only check like that I really have to do is just making sure that it isn't too tight before I start breaking yarn again. But ooh, it's so pretty. I'm I'm really loving the rainbow stripes. So even though it's sort of annoying to execute. Yeah, that's what I thought, Kathleen. That's what I thought. I thought you were getting sleepy. It was a good thought. Because there's nothing like that's definitely the sleepy signs. Yeah, are you gonna play with Mommy's shawl? Are you gonna listen to the whistling wind? It's fox season again, so the wind blows. Especially when the fog might be rolling in soon. Blow, wind, blow. You stuck your finger in there, huh? Is that gonna be okay? Yeah, it's probably okay. It's probably okay. So, it is really pretty. I have decided to do the eyelet detail down the sides. Some of the people in my knit group have not, but there's nothing like peer pressure to get you rolling on a sweater. And then in terms of, what would it be? I'm trying to think in the grand scheme of a tee. How much how much knitting am I done with if I am working a tee? So it might be the case where I'll pop it on, try it on tubing, put it on, see how I like it after the arm separation. I don't know if I wanted to go a little bit farther. We'll see. There'll probably be some pictures for Instagram. For some reason, Ravelry's connection to Google Photos isn't that great right now, but that's probably better for me posting my pictures. So I'd want to try it on, um, see how all of these choices have added up. Um, yeah, see how all the choices have added up. Um, and then it would be the case where when I have done try it on tubing, I might decide how much more sleeve I want. Because, for example, like I really do like the fit of this specific sweater, so it may be the case where I just take this t-shirt. So take the sweater, lay it on this t-shirt, and figure out like, oh, it was like if I want a t-shirt sleeve on this, how much longer do I need to knit? And then it may be the case where I also go a little bit off pattern as well and end up doing rainbow trim. So I would pick up around the neckline and do a sequence of rainbow stripe, and then pick up, and then for the sleeve bind off, do basically rainbow ribbing for all my finishing. And then it would look very nice with like the navy trim as like the final bit. However, the Hillsbug is, what would it be? I don't even know, like, it's definitely got like it's got a lot of halo and fuzz to it, but I'm not sure I can properly, you can sort of see. So it'd be the case where um, it's definitely fairly fuzzy yarn. Um, and what I'm doing, or would it be? So, so as it stands right now, like based on rough calculations, it'll be actually maybe a little bit more ease than I intended, but um, that shouldn't be a big deal because I have put um, most of that sort of in the front, and that's sort of the shaping that I end up like choosing to do for yolks a lot of the time as well. Or basically I just have what's normally my cup size extra on the front. Oh no, I don't know what cup size I have right now. That depends on time of day and how long it's been since I've either pumped or fed her. So there's that. So that's been getting a decent amount of attention because it is, or would it be? The only thing was sort of when I was getting into the transition, or would it be? So Vomit was approaching the point at which I needed to stop the neckline because the neckline sort of made it possible to sort of decouple the, or basically the neckline made it possible to sort of have like a faster rate of increase, um, to get more stitches in the front there. Um, and then within sort of the after joining for the neckline and working in the round, there was a pretty easy provision in the pattern for getting like a faster rate of increases, which I just put on the front and a normal raglan rate for the back. Um, and then I think I only ended up adding a bit more than I intended, just so that I could get the 3 inches in the front. Whatever, it's fine. And then, would it be in my campaign to try to get a little bit more spinning done? Um, we're slightly out of rotation, but it's not the end of the world. But I am still working on my sweater spin. Kathleen would not like that to be on her foot. um, so I'm not doing it every night, but at least I have it set up in the right spot. And the only thing I have to be mindful of is to take the drive band off so that my son doesn't start making the spinning wheel go while it's connected to the bobbin. So drive band off is the best way to make that happen. So it would be really great to finish the spin. And I guess I don't have too much more time to do that. So we'll see. What it be? Like on one hand, um, or one of my considerations um for like the coming weeks is just what it be? Um, like it'd be nice to finish a summer sweater before going to a hot place, but it may be too hot for a hot place. Um, should I intend to make more summer sweaters with my summer yarn? Maybe. How much is a reasonable amount? I guess we'll see how much of this sweater I get done. Will I bring San Francisco weight sweaters with me? No, not at all. That's fine. Will I decide to do something different? Maybe. We'll see. Um, but it was the case where sort of when I was circling around with my swatch, um, it was like, okay, between Pimentone, Rocket, and Dingley Dell. It was the case where I think I decided that I did want to knit Dingley Dell. And I'm probably going to knit that out of my Sincere Sheep. So I have a wool linen silk blend from them. That should be very lovely. Would it be? I'm probably going to end up making the super popular pattern. um, maybe using lots and lot, or would it be? Maybe the case where I need to figure out if I have to rechart or something or do something else. I'm not sure. Um, I keep forgetting the name of that one. Ranunculus. I've seen so many excellent ranunculus, so that like I think I have a merino silk for that one, which may still be too hot for the mid-south. I may just only bring linen things. Um, and would it be? But it'd be the case where I've bought yarn for Pimentone twice, and maybe I just need to knit one of them with sweater quantities for that. And then the other can be Dingley Dell. Call it good. And see how many t-shirts I can knit. Though I'm fairly impressed I got that far with the tea already. Oh, bless you. Um, so all I need to do is, or would it be? It was definitely, you know that feeling when you have like the maximum number of yolk and you're like, yeah. So I'm glad I got past the sleep divide. But it's not like things are going to be changing a whole lot there. Right. It's just going to be the same. Just the same amount of stitches and finishing. But I do like to finish my finishing early, so it might be happening soon. I do need to pull, or I did pull up my needles to put away my US2s, which was the size I swatched with, which I decided not to go with. Yeah, it must have been last week I really swatched, so I decided what I wanted to do with my swatch. Whatever. So, knitting it on 2.5s. I probably do need to pull out my teeny circ 2.5. Get that in the bag. Um, so that I'm ready to put on a sleeve if that's where I am in this way. Yeah. And then where I ended up splitting for the sleeves, I will have to do one isolated row of blue. But I did want to make sure that that sleeve divide area was all um, the sturdy pelt wool and not the soft, delightful Falkland Merino Gotland. Super thin. Yeah, I decided that needed to be tough. Did it need to be tough, Kathleen? Real tough? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It needed to be tough, right? Are you tough? Are you tough? Are you pretty tough? Yeah. You've been really good. You've been really good for this podcast, huh? Oh, you're not very interested in the screen, but you have been good for the podcast. As you do. Oh, different things to look at. Very excited. So, we'll see what happens. Like when I finish my shawl, I'll cast on the Go-Go Dynamo. When I finish this sweater, I'm probably gonna cast on another summer sweater. Because or a side effect of needing to be down in the office again is that it's hotter and hotter there. So having a wide selection of nice summer sweaters is actually going to be pretty nice for the wardrobe. It'll be good. Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, you're getting pretty sleepy now, huh? Just in time for the end of the podcast. It was like where I live, where I spend a decent amount of my time, it is cold enough for a worsted weight sweater. But where I work, there's definitely a pretty good chunk of year where I can have my summer sweater. Not summer sweaters, so it feels nice that I get to have both. And then spending time in the Mid South as well. So I did finally get my plane tickets for my trip, so finally got that done. I still need to get a rental car, but that's doable. Not too bad. Do I still need to get the yarn from the yarn crawl off the bed in preparation for house guests? Yes. Is that why knitting sweater quantities is a good idea? Maybe. Oh, that is a good point, because I think the next peer pressure sweater is going to be Senna, which is by one of the women our knit group, Ksenia, who is known as Life is Cozy. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. Did I end up buying another sweater quantity that peep and tone in on the yarn crawl? Wasn't very responsible. Were you not holding me accountable, Kathleen? Were you not holding me accountable? No, not so much. Not so much. So, what do you think? What do you think? So, probably should be good to record again in 2 weeks. Nothing too crazy happening then. Um, will yeah, it might be a little bit harder for the time after that, but we'll figure it out. It shouldn't be too bad. Um, yeah, definitely exciting times. Let it be. Looking forward to all that. So, we'll see. We'll see what comes together and what stays the same. But definitely the case where what would it be? There is probably quite a bit to go on what would it be? Quite a bit to go on that spinning project. So I'll have to try harder. I'll have to try harder. So, what would it be? And it would be the case for, as it stands right now, I'm actually sort of accumulating like a decent amount of mending. Um, and that is like in preparation for Stash Dash. I don't know, maybe they won't have Stash Dash this year. I'll have to ask the question. So there hasn't been much chitter chatter about it. Um, I guess if there's not going to be Stash Dash, then there's no reason to wait. But no, I do have to laugh a little bit because so one of the things that will need to be mended is my spouse's blue lizard tessellation mitts. I've mended them so many times. Like these mitts have been out on this world in this world for slightly less than 5 years. But it's the fine thread problem. So because it's a light fingering yarn and a fairly luxurious material, um, like it does feel great and wear fast. So not what it be. I was discussing with my knit group about, oh my gosh, how many times have I mended this stupid pair of things? And then I did, then the knit group was like, is that actually knit worthy? I let my spouse know that his knitworthiness was on the rocks, so he's been trying to justify his knitworthiness. Oh, dear sweet lovable one. But we did discuss today about what our game plan should be, because one like a simple thing is just to redo the bind off in a thicker yarn. See how that goes, because I've never needed to mend his original pair in fingering in Wilmisa. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So there might be some black Wilmisa in the stash that I could redo the bind off and not need to do anything else. That could be an easy path. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I have to mend my vitamin D. Um, I have my magic mirror socks that had it seemed like just like the last stitch of the cast off. So, whatever. I may have to do like a little bit more than that in order to fix them, but that shouldn't be too big a deal. Um, I'll have to figure out where the spare yarn for that one is. Um, and then is that it? I don't know. There might be some other mending floating around the house too. It looks like there might, oh yeah, like a couple pairs of socks that need a little bit of love. So we'll see. We'll see. And then I'll have to figure out how to make the stash fit good. Maybe while I have the pack and play out of this room, since this has been her room for the past couple of weeks. So not too crazy there. What you think? You like mommy's shawl? Or you like playing? You like holding it? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what I decide to do next. I think we know what I'm gonna do next. So that shouldn't be too crazy. I don't know. I might wind some yarn while she's napping. So I'm all ready. I should be all ready, right? But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like I have like Memorial Day is super early this year, so it might be a long stash dash period, but I won't I won't be home for a large chunk of it, so Gonna be weird times. For sure. All right. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.